Taking breaks is mandatory, obviously. If we keep going at the same thing over and over again, relentlessly, without any sort of break or relief, we wouldn't be human. We wouldn't have the physical needs of a biological living organism. We need to take breaks to eat, to use the washroom, to shower and clean ourselves. There are different things that we need to not be doing something that's considered productive. Obviously, the definition of what is productive is subjective, right? What producing something in this world is inherently a subjective matter. For example, being alive, is that considered productive? Well, you're taking resources from the earth, whether it's oxygen from the air, producing carbon dioxide and waste products that deal damage to the earth over time, especially in large quantities. And if you consider the human impact in terms of ecological footprint, we've done a lot more harm to the earth than we have to help it. So just by existing, is that even productive? Maybe not. And in a societal standpoint, directions of productivity is also different. I myself deem productivity as working towards an outward goal of one person's, or even internal goal of a person. Writing a script for a video is productive because I'm creating something that assists my goal of making a YouTube channel or a YouTube video. And that in itself is making something through the digital media form. I find myself being productive when I study for a coursework because I'm working towards my goal of being an academically successful student, which then goes me towards the goal of getting a good job in a similar field. However, productivity can come in many forms too in that regard. Some people find their goals to be more simple or goals to be less strenuous in a way. Some would consider my actions not productive because it's not actually benefiting society in a larger picture or making money actively, because some people consider productivity to be a financial thing primarily. And both perspectives, none of them are wrong. It's just a different way to look at things. Another example is something towards my physical health. I went on a bike ride to get out here today, and that's productive because I'm training my cardiovascular health as well as my balance and my core, as well as my navigational skills going through the area. Hold up, there's a plane, I gotta show you. Look at that. Airplane. Wow. As I was saying before, the idea of productivity is difficult, but where does that tie into breaks? Well, taking a break means not being productive in a sense, or not doing a goal, an action towards a physical internal goal. A break can be something as mandatory as eating food or using the washroom. Continuing our actions regardless, because there's simplistic physical needs, sure, in that very primal sense of warmth, food, water, etc. But there's also the needs of humans outside of that from a social culture perspective. We want companionship. We need companionship. We need mental breaks as well because it takes a strenuous toll in that regard. With the recent increase in awareness of mental health, it's become all the more important for us to actually understand and recognize those breaks that we need as people without bottling them up and dealing with the consequences later. We need safety, that general security of mind, and sometimes a break can help in that if an action feels dangerous or dangerous to our health even in that regard in the long term. Sure, we can treat short-term needs like food and water in the moment, but neglect of those needs can result in long-term health problems. Now, in terms of how long a break should be, that is dependent on the activity or the person as well. Some people feel like they need really long breaks in between stuff like that, and that can sometimes work for activities like long-scale goals. But for short-term one where a due date's really soon, that can be a bit difficult. Other people are fine with taking very short-term goals, like short-term breaks, my mistake. Short-term breaks, like maybe taking a small 15-minute breather before getting back into doing some writing work. It really also depends on the task too. For example, if you are working a 9-to-5 job, you are given, in most cases, a paid break, or even an unpaid break, which is unfortunate, but it's still a break nonetheless from the monotony of work over hours and hours on end. Versus a task like doing the dishes, you most likely won't need to take a break from that 20-30 minute activity because you won't need to in most cases. You'll be able to finish it before you even feel the need to get a break. People take vacations and stuff, and as a travel channel I would know too, and that's considered a break too. It's a separation from your day-to-day life, and a break is not only a time thing, but also a location and contextual thing as well. Being able to separate yourself from the context that have made you stressed or anxious or worried or frustrated is also a successful way to deal with that sort of thing. Taking a break can help in that regard. I have no objective answer in terms of how long you should take your breaks or whether breaks are how frequently a break is necessary, but truth be told, there shouldn't be an objective answer. It's different based on the individual. It should be different on the individual level. That's the whole point of this. And overall, I think it's great that it works out that way, because having the autonomy to take breaks, which is a privilege in itself, is really important for human beings to deal with. And myself, I have a lot of trouble finding time to take breaks, because I always feel the need to be productive. Even now, where I'm between, I just finished my winter semester in uni, and I'm about to go into my summer semester, but it's only been a week in between since my final exam and now, essentially. So it's really not that long a break at all, and I feel okay. But during that break, instead of just reclining and doing activities like watching TV or doing personal things, I've been working on projects like this channel, as well as other things that I feel are productive. And while that is difficult because I'm not really taking a break now, am I? It's my way to relax, in a sense. It's my way to feel I like being productive, even if it is towards my own projects. Why I made this channel in the first place, so I have something to work towards. So the way I see it is that productivity is in the eye of the beholder. It's about how you deem something that you've done. And taking breaks according to that criteria is important. Now, obviously, saying something like, oh, I'll do 3 minutes of work and take a month-long vacation, that's a bit unreasonable in terms of ratio scan, as well as like realism too. It's not realistic to be able to take a month-long break unless you are like Elon Musk ultra-billionaire level status, which I guess good for you, but at that point, are you really doing productive things? And if you are, that's great. But a month-long full vacation takes a lot away from that. Anyway, I'm getting off track. The point is, in a more realistic sense, you can decide that breaks are important in everyday life. And next time you take a break, try to think more about how you take breaks and what might be better for you for productivity. And think of that internally. Think about your internal sense of self and how long you do take your breaks compared to how much work you do in that ratio. It also helps curb procrastination, because I'm a victim of that too. And yeah, that's basically all I have for you today. So until next time, bye for now.